I saw this broken NES on eBay, figured it was about time we got around to working on one, so I picked it up. I don't know much about the NES. It was the first console that I remember playing on as a kid. I played The Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. I don't remember if the game was any good. I just remember that was a thing that we had, and I played it. And then I didn't do that again, and I played the Nintendo 64 instead. But either way, we have this. I don't know much about what's wrong with it either, so we'll go ahead, test it, and see what we learn. I am going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys the condition of everything first, because oftentimes I forget. See, these screws look really good. But yeah, the audio and video port, like that's pretty rusted. And then I don't think I can get in there right, but there is rust in the power supply area, which means I probably shouldn't even try to plug this thing in. And then somebody signed it, very sweet of them. The corner is chipped, which if you don't know about NESs, that's like every NES ever. And then it's just generally kind of dirty. Oh, there we go. That's a good angle on things. Let's see if any of this works. Is that plugged in? That doesn't feel right. Should that not grab more? I mean, I guess it is 40 years old. Maybe the tech was different back then. Let's see what that does. So you push it all the way in and then push down. And then power on. We get a red light. It's flashing. And then whatever is going on the screen, and if I hold this down, take the game out maybe, push the reset, exact same thing happens. Just to be sure, I'll try this copy, which also has Duck Hunt. Okay, same result. Is it a power issue? Doesn't appear to be. Okay. Well, that's what we have going on. I guess it's probably best to just get in there and see what we find. Given the rust on the ports, I'm not terribly optimistic that this is going to be in the best shape as we get in there. I think we're good. I think, yeah. I'm stupid and should have done this the other way. This actually smells like cooked. I don't know how to describe it. It just smells like it's been cooked. Very dusty. I don't see anything beyond that. There's some of that rust I was talking about. Our pins back here seem to be okay. They look fine there too. I think that cooked smell I was getting earlier is actually a little bit of a fishy smell from the capacitors. Well, I say that, but I only see what I think are 3 electrolytic capacitors. They're not up against the board, so I can kind of see under there, and I don't see residue from them leaking or anything like that. Now there are also these ceramic caps all over the place. Here's that rust I was talking about. Here around the connections for the power input, and you can even see that this leg from something has broken off. I would imagine here in this power supply, there's more than just this one capacitor. And it's not just the power supply, this is also where the video out is. So it's all one mechanism. Because looking, I mean, all the rust that I see is all right in there. So you can see that this switch itself is in really bad shape. Wait, what does the switch do? Is that part of why I wasn't getting power correctly? What does that do? There were stickers on the back of the shell. Yeah, channel 3 and channel 4. So maybe I was on the wrong channel. Or maybe the fact that this is so old and just uses these 2 cables means that my HDMI upscaler thing doesn't work. That wouldn't surprise me either. There's actually nothing wrong with this. I mean, looking at these solder joints, everything looks fine. Let me see if I see any cold or cracked solder joints back here. Things might look cold because they are not leaded solder joints. That could be a thing. I mean, that leg that was over here had to come from somewhere. This is concerning. I don't understand how it's got there. Let me just make sure that we haven't like gone through the PCB or anything. It's been a while since I've taken the pokey pointy scrapey thing and scraped something off, so for those of you that are new to the channel and haven't seen me do this in a while, or at all, when I take the pokey pointy scrapey thing, I rest it on the board. I do not apply pressure, and I let it take off what it wants to take off so that I don't remove all this beautiful green solder mask. Yeah, so this damage had to come from something. And I didn't see any liquid damage anywhere else. So what I'm wondering, what's on the other side? The other side is exclusively in here. I'm wondering if a capacitor has gone bad, leaked everywhere, and then that has ate through this side of the board. But as I'm doing this, I see nothing. Let's see if I can maybe tell what that is. Not even remotely. I mean, it's gotta be rust, surely, right? Or is that some kind of flux, maybe? I mean, I know some types of flux can cause you issues if you leave them on the board, if they get burned when you use it. And I mean, these are very large solder joints. It does stand to reason this would have burned the flux and you would have used quite a bit of it. I'll tell you what, the way that this is cleaning up makes me think more and more this must just be burnt flux. Yeah, I think anything else would have done some damage here to our PCB. So this doesn't appear that it is causing me a single issue then. This really large solder joint right here looks like it could be a little cold maybe. The way that the solder looks like it's around it and not touching it, you have this gap right here. That means that it was just a little too cold. Maybe there wasn't enough flux. Are those contacts or those just mounting pins? I think they're just mounting pins. At that size, probably. What should I do here? Let's just start cleaning the board. Tends to be my favorite place to start. Yeah, I don't know what that cooked smell is. It's probably a capacitor that's leaking, but it would have to be in here. Man, our pins look really, really good. I don't see any indication that they're bent unless they're all kind of bent out of place. They might be dirty. We'll clean those a little bit better later. So my working theory right now is that the issue is here, and if it's not here, then it's here. I don't see something on this side of the board that makes me think it's over there. The reason that that's my working theory is that the issue that we're getting is consistent with I mean, I don't know NESs. I'll just be very clear. I haven't even watched somebody else repair one. I haven't read any blogs. I'm going into this completely blind. Just based on what I know with electronics in general, that flashing blue makes me think that either we just have a video out issue in general, which I find less likely, or what I find more likely is that we're not getting consistent power delivery. That makes me think there's got to be a capacitor that's gone bad, or we have those contacts are just too dirty, maybe. And the reason that I go to game next is sometimes I've discovered the older Nintendo devices have weird symptoms when they can't read a game, since this is before we had home screens, I guess you could call them, on modern day consoles. Yeah, it looks like everything it's supposed to be populated is. Looking at my labels now. What I'm checking now is if somewhere where there's supposed to be a capacitor or something, maybe there isn't. So if we look here, you can see that there will be like C1, and then that tells me that this is capacitor 1. What's really cool is it actually tells me it's 100 microfarad, 6.3 volt. That's sick. Yeah, I don't notice a missing component. Doesn't mean there's not one. It just means I'm kind of stupid. Okay, let's clean up this side, and then maybe in doing so, I find something interesting. Is this a liquid indicator? Is that what that is? Let's do deoxit next. What I'm gonna do is just drip a little bit right there, and then kind of around the perimeter. And I'm gonna make sure that we are dripped there and around the perimeter. And so now, I'm just gonna go in like this a few times. We're just gonna do the same thing on these. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think the video port at all is causing my issue. If it is a video issue, I just don't think it's the port. Maybe it's a capacitor or something. But if it's the port, why would I be getting blue video that's on then off? That seems wrong. God, I feel so bad for the people that watch these videos that know exactly what's wrong and are sitting there screaming. Just telling me to Google it the entire time. Or thinking it's so obviously capacitor like 38. All right, we're gonna go ahead and clean up the shell just a little bit so that I can go ahead and test this. I don't want to do a proper bath, and we're not gonna retrobrite it because the corner of the shell is already damaged and falling apart, and the thing's 40 years old and just likely to do that anyways. So instead, we're just gonna clean this by hand as best we can. Well, first and foremost, we need to get the dust that's here needs to go away. So let's try that. Now let's see if I can't actually clean this. I've got these, the brand is Crocodile, but they just make these massive, massive surface cleaning wipes, which I think is safe for this. I was struggling with cleaning, I think it was a PS1. I just couldn't quite get somewhere I wanted to. And somebody commented that I should try a spudger with a wipe at the end. And that's what we're gonna do right here. And it works perfect. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I tried so many different ways to edit this footage to make cleaning it interesting, and it just wasn't. It didn't matter if I fast forwarded it, if I did the jump cuts to the funny bits, if I turned it upside down, nothing made a difference. This was really boring footage. So this is the end of it, and now we're gonna go to the next segment. Now, how assembled do I need to get this to test? Should I just clean the cartridge reader now? And just assume that it's dirty because it's 40 years old and that's a reasonable thing to happen? All right, we turn the power on, flashing red light, flashing on my screen is white. Interesting. Try that again. Maybe this time I'll put a game in. Blinking red still. Video output is flashing blue. I know there's something about the cartridge readers on these, or sometimes they get just a little off or something, or maybe the pins get dirty. I don't quite remember. Let's try that. Flashing red. A flashing gray screen. And then I push this in a bit. Oh, I'm now flashing different colors. I'm getting yellow. Okay, it's pretty consistently yellow right now, but there was like a red thing, now there's green. Okay, so I do think, seeing how that went, maybe we have an issue with our game's being a little dirty. Maybe we have an issue with our cartridge reader being a bit dirty. Yeah, I think we go ahead and we clean the cartridge reader. That's all I can really think of. Because, I mean, to be fair, I haven't tested any of the NES games I have. I have a whole stack of them that I've picked up from local game stores. Now, I know there's something about the old Nintendos and boiling the cartridge readers. We can try that. If I'm heating it up anyways, I'm probably just chucking it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I mean, I guess it depends on what temperature the water needs to be. Well, I mean, this cartridge looks ridiculously clean. I mean, dude. I mean, some of the gold has worn away on the pins. Is that coming through? There we go. So yeah, some of the gold is worn away on the pins. But I mean, they're not dirty. So I don't think it's my cartridges. Well, I mean, there is evidence of liquid there from something. We'll clean this. First, we'll clean this though. Before I clean the cartridge, I always clean the game first. I don't know why, but I do it. I just take some Deoxit, spread across the pins, then I let the toothbrush do the work. I found that this is the best method for me personally. I like to do this because it's like the second least destructive you could be. I mean, you could take a cotton swab, but I'm just worried I'm not going to get enough off. This works really well for me personally. The next thing that I do after the pins have been cleaned is I will put more Deoxit on the pins and then sit there and insert this back and forth into the console quite a few times to try to clean the pins inside the console. I mean, I'll just use alcohol. You probably shouldn't. Alcohol is not, isopropyl alcohol is not great for plastics. Ah, yeah, so you see it even tells you not to use alcohol because that will eat the plastic just a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't you worry about that though. Now what we're gonna do is set our console here. I'm gonna take just a little bit of deoxit and get it on our pins. So in this case, I think what's best is for me to use my brain and go across here. Okay, so I've put quite a bit of deoxit across the pins. Then I'm just gonna take a Q-tip if I can. Yep, I'm gonna spread it out evenly using my Q-tip. And then sit here and work it in until I'm blue in the face. And then I don't know if maybe this has to be in for us to start, so we'll try that. Solid red. And I get a thing on screen. Let's go. Nice. Okay. I need to do some more testing. I need to see if it works when it's assembled, because I don't know if the issue was just how the game was in there or if it really was just the pins. I'm feeling pretty confident that it was the pins, just with the way that went. But just to be sure, we're gonna go ahead, reassemble it, and then test it again. Power. And I get a solid red light to tell me that it's working, but there's nothing on the screen for you guys. Let me switch this channel thing over. Still nothing for you guys. Bummer. All right, got a one-player game. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this one. I feel like Deoxit is just always the answer when it comes to these older devices. So if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, and if you'd like to see more just like it, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video.